I'm going to be making videos this month. This month is Pokemon December, and I am going to have a Pokemon vlog for you every day this month. And this is really odd for me because I am not a blogger. I don't even know what a blog is, to be honest. Okay, that's a lie. I have a blog. Now, we're just starting out here, and if you have not seen my other videos of what kind of Pokemon are you, take a minute to check those out up in the top left. But I'm going to do something right now that you'll never see me do ever again. I'm going to tell you right now, subscribe to me if you're interested. Today, we are going to start off with starters. So, for those of you who are new to Pokemon, which if you are, I don't know why you're watching this, but we gotta appeal to everybody here. You have a choice of 3 Pokemon to get. One of them's a fire type, one's a grass type, one's a water type. So every game has the 3 starters. Always difficult choices. My first time playing the original games of Red and Blue, I was young back then. My Christmas when I was I think 5 years old, maybe 4, I got a Game Boy Pocket, which I still own, and Pokemon Red and Blue versions, which I also still own. They're considered relics among my friends. So yeah, my Game Boy Pocket was broken for years, and I'll get into that later. Anyway, first time I played it, on my blue version I started with Bulbasaur, and on my red version I started with Charmander. I had to use Squirtle in there somewhere. I mean, trading. You're basically 2 copies of a game and you're just linking up, basically. It was, like, unheard of back then. I've always liked Squirtle. Personally, it's probably my favorite of the 3 to start out with now, just because the water starter's always more versatile. Fire types, they learn fire moves. Grass types, they learn grass moves. Water types can learn water moves, and they can learn ice moves. Another detail I'll get into later of why water types are my favorite starters to use. Charmander, I remember I had a Charizard at the end of my first playthrough. I had a Blastoise and the 4 legendaries. And on blue version, I don't remember much, but I do remember Bulbasaur was the first starter I ever used. I've never actually played yellow version, but the appeal of getting all 3 starters in addition to Pikachu is really strong. And it's probably why so many people love yellow version more than red and blue. And then, years passed, we moved on to Johto in the 2nd gen. I still had red and blue until Crystal came out, and about 2 months after Crystal came out, I got it for my birthday. First time I ever played it, I honestly didn't beat it. I got stuck at the Elite Four and never had the patience to train my team up. I had, like, no knowledge of what was good at the time. I had a Chikorita, I had a Jumpluff, I don't know. My team was just pretty bad. Suicune was pretty useless in that game, but the starters, Chikorita, grass type, probably one of my favorites in terms of, I don't know, the cute factor. Don't judge me. I love cute Pokemon. Cyndaquil, cool and all, but I usually go with Totodile. Johto's the game I play the most often. When I played Soul Silver, I started with Totodile, and my Feraligatr was a very important part of my team towards the end. I had it against Red. I had to have it with me because I need Rock Climb to get to him, but whatever. Feraligatr, coolest design of the 3 fully evolved starters in Johto. It's a crocodile. There's like nothing that can debate with that. Meganium, it's not the typical strong sweep through the game starter, but you can basically stall out Pokemon 10 levels higher than you with Reflect, pass on defenses to your team, heal up, Synthesis. Just have a good old time. Then, when 3rd gen came around, once again I skipped Ruby and Sapphire and started off with Emerald. The first time I played the game, I already had some good knowledge of what the starters were. I chose Trico my first time. I had a great time playing through that game with Trico. I just love Trico. I love all the starters in that game. Emerald probably had the best selection of starters, and you can debate with me all you want, but Sceptile, Swampert, Blaziken versus Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur. Definitely better than the Johto starters. Hoenn, best starters, maybe even best region. I'll get more into that a lot later on this month. When I first played through Emerald, Sceptile helped me through so much. Like, basically that was my Pokemon. It won every contest for me. That's how in-depth I was playing that game. Leaf Blade, Earthquake, I think Dragon Claw, it has Dragon Pulse now. I transferred it over. Okay, enough with Sceptile. Torchic and Blaziken, I really haven't used a lot. I don't think I've ever used one on Emerald. I seem to have a trend of not liking the fire starters, even though Blaziken's probably one of my top favorite Pokemon of all time. I just don't use the fire starters. Everybody says fire starters breeze through the game easy. Well, just never like using them, to be honest. And then Swampert. I heard you like Mudkips. You can't deny how amazing Mudkip is. And then Swampert, Water, and Ground. Okay, it's a water type that doesn't get hit by electric moves. Like when you're growing up, you're like, that's amazing. It only has one weakness to grass, and it just wreaks havoc through the whole game. It can take out the fire gym with ease. We move on to Diamond and Pearl, which I'll get into the many reasons why I hate it later on. I like the starters. Piplup is my favorite unevolved. Chimchar is really nice too. And once again, with Chimchar and Infernape, I don't particularly like. Alright, I'll say it. It's totally ugly. I don't know, it's a flaming monkey. But at the time, I guess it was a good idea, but its design just isn't as good as the other two. Then you have Empoleon evolving from Piplup. And those water starters, man. The versatility of your water starters. My Empoleon on Diamond, not only did it help me through the Elite Four, but afterwards, I don't think it ever left my team. It had Waterfall, Rock Smash, Cut, and Defog. It can learn Rock Climb, I believe. It can learn anything you need. Plus it's strong, and it's a penguin. And it's made of steel. My favorite of the three is Torterra, but I've never actually used it. It's got the best design. It's a turtle with a tree on its back. That's awesome. But enough with Sinnoh. I don't want to talk about it. The game I've played the most, and it's the game I hate the most. And once again, I'll get into that plenty later on. 5th gen, I'll talk about that a lot later. But I chose Snivy. Superior, best design of the three, easily. Samurott has a really good design as well. I like Oshawott a lot. Dewott is really cool. But Samurott just seems out of place. As you can see from the design here, that evolution, I don't know, it's one of the most extreme ones. It's like Gyarados, where does it come from? And then Tapig, everyone talks about. Tapig's the cutest of the three, but Emboar, I have nothing to say about it. But back to Superior. Snivy is amazing. Superior, it's a fast Pokemon with high defense. I can't think of any others off the top of my head that have that. It outspeeded everything I was up against in the Elite Four in Black version. I don't have to worry about it dying because it can take almost any attack. And Coil, great move. It boosts its attack and defense even more. It doesn't learn a lot of moves, but it's fine with me. I guess that's all I have to say on the starters for now. I've probably rambled way too much, way more than I wanted to. But I hope you enjoyed my discussion on basically my opinions on all the starters. Tomorrow I'll have something new for you. After starters, where else is there to go besides the legendary Pokemon? And that's what tomorrow's video is going to entail. The legendary Pokemon from all the games, my thoughts, and basically whether I'd use them or not. And I'll just say I don't use legendaries, and I'll tell you why. Oh yeah, subscribe if you like it and want to see more. I always tell you to subscribe at the end of my videos, because if you make it to the end of a video, that means you're interested, and you've watched the whole thing. You're not going to sit through 8 minutes of me rambling if you don't care about what I'm talking about. So, subscribe, see more. I'll have a new video every day this month. And if I don't, leave hateful comments on my channel. I'll get back to you. And I'll see you next time.